I stared at the piece of paper. My hands were actually shaking. It looked like a formal business invoice. At the top, it said, repayment plan. The total amount was $18,000 and 450 cents. What is this? I asked quietly. My mother took a sip of her tea. She didn't even look at me. It is exactly what it looks like, Sarah. The cost of raising you since you turned 18. We kept all the receipts. We charged you for rent. We charged you for the food you ate. We even charged for electricity. I looked at my father sitting there. He had a calculator in his hand. We expect the first payment today, he said, or we will take you to small claims court. I felt like I was going to be sick. I was their daughter, not their tenant. But they looked at me like a stranger, like a walking bank account. Fine, I said, standing up. You want to play business? Let's play business. I walked out of that house. I didn't know it yet, but that piece of paper would ruin them. Let me explain how we got here. My parents were always obsessed with money, not making it, but hoarding it, and specifically taking it from me. I started working when I was 16. I worked at a fast food place. Every Friday, when I got paid, my mother would be waiting at the door. Hand it over, Sarah, she would say. We need it for the household. I gave them 70% of my check. For years, I thought I was helping the family. I thought we were struggling. But we weren't struggling at all. My dad drove a brand new truck. My mom went to the salon weekly. They were using my teenage wages to fund their luxury lifestyle. I didn't realize this until I turned 22. I was trying to save for college, but I had $0 in my account. Every time I saved a little bit, some emergency would happen. The boiler broke, Sarah. The car needs new tires, Sarah. And like a fool, I paid for it. I sacrificed my education for them. I sacrificed my social life. I stayed in my childhood bedroom because they told me it was cheaper. Why move out? Mom would say. Rent is so expensive out there. Just stay here and help us. It was a trap. They didn't want me to save money. They wanted to keep their cash cow. Last month, I finally got a promotion. I became a manager at my store. My salary doubled overnight. I was so excited to tell them. I bought a nice cake to celebrate. Mom, Dad, I got the manager job. My dad's eyes lit up immediately. That's great news, Sarah. How much is the raise? I made the mistake of telling them. They didn't congratulate me. They didn't say they were proud. My mother just nodded slowly. Good. Now you can pay more rent. We are raising your rent to $1,500. My jaw dropped to the floor. $1,500 was more than a luxury apartment. For a tiny bedroom with no lock? No, I said firmly. I am not paying that. I am moving out next week. The room went deadly silent. My mother stood up, screaming. You can't move out. Who will pay the grocery bill? Who will pay for the internet? That is not my problem anymore. I spent the next week packing boxes. They tried everything to stop me. They cried fake tears. They threatened to disown me. They hid my car keys, but I was determined to leave. On the final day, as I was loading the moving truck, my father handed me the invoice. The one I told you about, $18,450. If you leave, he said coldly, you owe us this debt. We consider it a loan. We will sue you if you don't pay. I looked at the itemized list. They charged me for cereal. They charged me for water usage. They even charged me for a ride to the hospital when I broke my arm at age 12. It was the most disgusting thing ever. I took the paper. I folded it neatly. I will see you in court, I said. I drove to my new apartment. It was small and empty, but it was mine. I didn't sleep that night. I was terrified of their threat. Could they really sue me? I called a lawyer the next morning. I showed him the ridiculous invoice. He laughed for 5 minutes straight. This is not legally binding, Sarah. Parents are legally required to provide for kids. You don't owe them a dime. However, he paused. Did you pay rent while living there? Yes, I said. Cash every month. Did you have a lease agreement? No, just a verbal agreement. And did you do chores? I did everything, I told him. I cooked, cleaned, and babysat. The lawyer smiled a wicked smile. Then let's send them a counter invoice. We spent the next 3 days doing math. If they wanted to be a business, we would treat them like a business. I calculated every hour of cleaning. I calculated every hour of cooking. I calculated every grocery bill I paid. I found old bank statements. I found receipts from 5 years ago. The total came to a shocking number. They thought I owed them $18,000, but according to fair labor laws and the money I contributed, they actually owed me a lot more than that. 2 weeks later, we met in a mediation room. My parents looked confident. They brought the crumpled invoice. She owes us, my dad said. We want a payment plan set up. My lawyer didn't say a word. He just slid a thick binder across the table. What is this? My mom asked. That is our counterclaim, my lawyer said. Sarah worked as a live-in housekeeper for 10 years. She also paid unauthorized rent. Since you are not licensed landlords, that rent collection was illegal. My father's face turned bright red. This is nonsense, he shouted. She is our daughter. Exactly, my lawyer replied. You don't charge daughters for existence, but you do pay employees. The total you owe Sarah is $42,000, plus legal fees, plus interest. My mother started hyperventilating. We don't have that kind of money. We spent it all on the truck. Then sell the truck, I said. I spoke for the first time. You wanted a transaction. You wanted to count pennies. So I counted every single penny. You have 30 days to pay, or I will take the house. The color drained from their faces. They realized they had lost. They realized their greed backfired. They didn't pay the full amount. We settled out of court. They sold the truck. They drained their savings account. They wrote me a check for $25,000. It was enough to pay my student loans. It was enough to furnish my apartment and put a down payment on a car. I haven't spoken to them since. My aunt told me they are struggling. They have to do their own cleaning now. They have to pay their own bills. They are miserable and lonely. But I am finally free. I sit in my apartment in silence. I drink my coffee in peace. Nobody is asking me for money. Nobody is handing me an invoice. I learned that family isn't about blood. It's about how they treat you. And if they treat you like an ATM, it's time to close the account. And if you think my parents were bad, wait until you hear about my sister. She dropped her kids at my house and disappeared for a week. But I didn't just babysit them. I made a phone call that changed her life. Click the video on screen now to see how I handled the golden child.